Should have taken the shot, fat ass.
Welcome to my dear friend Nokotan. Where do I even begin? If someone took acid, overdosed, got resuscitated, and then decided to die again in this anime industry, this would be it. Picasso doesn't even come close to how demented you must be to create this masterpiece. This anime is at its best when the most ridiculous things happen on screen. And it's so fun and entertaining and hard to predict that I would honestly say it's in my top 5 this year so far. We follow Koshi-tan, the student council president who is at the top of her class in looks, brains, and athletics, and who also happens to be a major tsundere to the core. She also happens to have a very dark secret, being inspired to be a delinquent by none other than Mikey from Tokyo Revengers. It is no wonder she quit that life because of how bad that series turned out to be. Her only other weakness is being influenced by the mood around her, as we see countless of times of her falling for it. Everyone sees her as an example at school, and her fulfilling simple life takes a 180 after meeting Nokotan. Now Nokotan is a deer girl hybrid, pet deer of the deer club, and who could honestly be part Robocop or Predator with how many gadgets she has. She's part of the Deer network and one of the highly trained mascots by the Deer Den. Her antlers are godlike, like when she uses them as sensors for answers, such as Koshi being a delinquent, Koshi being a virgin, and when telling you to subscribe to the channel. Another useful transformation is them being super effective explosives and maintaining its edible status. And also, I guess they hide bananas. I don't know, man. There's honestly nothing Nokotan does that makes sense, and she's at the center of all the chaos. Koshi meets her while walking to school, seeing her hanging by her antlers atop a power line, with predators ready to devour her. She almost leaves her there until being peer-pressure into saving her with this amazing face. And what's the first thing she says? Anywhere we go, there are always deer. Deer watching Koshi, deer at the classroom, deer in the deer club, deer in the fields, deer at a festival, deer, and more deer anywhere and everywhere. And if you thought this was all mild chaos, let me give you plenty of examples. Like her Dark Souls entrance with nobody batting an eye, and getting almost killed. But as soon as she calls Koshi a delinquent, everyone loses their minds. Pulling a Kenjaku with the top of her head coming off and, well, freezing Koshi in place like any normal human would. Her getting kicked out of the deer heaven by Deer God. All the JoJo's references and faces we constantly see coming up. The Bully McGuire dance with the original composed song by the VA herself. Nokotan living in a zoo and being at scene as a goddess. And of course, the final episode with the Rocky cover and scene recreation. And this is all a small part to the whole thing.
16 times the detail.
Every episode is like a fever dream that you are sad it ends. The next two Deer Club members are Koshi-tan's sister Anko and Bashame. Now Anko is a major siscon to the extreme. I mean, she literally cried tears of blood thinking her sister betrayed her for the Deer Girl and crossed the line with her. She is the only one that is supposed to stand beside her, and even the only reason she joins is to be with her in the Deer Club. She does learn to respect Nokotan after saving her from a kunai that she definitely threw herself. And of course, this was after the school-wide quiz battle they had where Koshi's privacy was reduced to 0 from the questions that were asked and answered. As for the last member of Ashame, she's joined after Nokotan gave her deer crackers for food. Now she wants to become a deer. The other part of her is that she's basically a rice farmer. I mean, she even built her own rice paddy field at the school illegally, but yeah, that doesn't seem to matter at all. All she ever does is cook rice, eat, and repeat. But hey, she's living her best life. The last part that I want to talk about this wild ride is the student council members, with Neko Yamada as the anti-Deer Club faction leader. She's probably like 4'10", but the more menacing she looks, the cuter she definitely gets. She wants to destroy the club and Koshi, most likely due to being crossed like this in episode 1, because that's definitely career ending. However, she completely forgets about this mission more and more, and even ends up taking care of Tsuchi, the volleyball deer mascot that is sentient and needs chalk. On her party, she has Tanuki Koji, who overreacts to anything and immediately apologizes and cries to everyone, and Tsubemaya, who is quiet but secretly a big fan of Nokotan and the deer. And as you can guess by now, the Deer Club's still standing tall. The anime just ended and it would be a great time to just binge watch it because it's well damn worth it. I would give this a 10 out of 10 deer crackers.